Hi, Karen Curry Parker here with your weekly Human Design Evolution Report. We are in the middle of a pretty intense cycle, and I have this sort of impulse to kind of laugh and high-five you, because if you're watching this and you're here with me, then so far so good, you're making it. But it is definitely a cycle, this Mercury retrograde cycle, and we've got like another week and a half of this energy. Is definitely got this tremendous push-pull. Wake up, move forward, don't do it yet, go, stop, go, push me, pull you, cosmic taffy kind of quality to it. And I am certain that many of you have been experiencing aspects of this sort of seemingly indecisive, or the sense of this indecisive energy that we're playing with. Even the weather, I don't know where you guys are, but I would say even the weather here in Minnesota, and even I was in Seattle last week visiting my kids, even there, it's like, hey, it's spring. No, it's not. Just kidding. Hey, it's spring. No, it's not. Just kidding. Here, have some snow. It's been very inconsistent and very much almost polarized this way or that. And that's certainly the quality of some of the energy of what we're experiencing. So let me back up and review a little bit of what we're in the middle of, and ultimately what we're moving towards, so that you can understand that the cosmos is not having a laugh on your behalf, but that there is indeed a purpose to what's happening right now. We are in the middle, or actually coming out of the middle of a creative cycle. There are 4 major creative cycles in the human design year. And each creative cycle has really 3 key parts to it. It has direction giving in the beginning. So at the beginning of every creative cycle, we sort of set the tone for what we're going to do in this quarter of the year. We have momentum and power surges forward, coupled with little steps back along the way. So the creative process is never full speed, 100% to the finish line, boom, bam, you're done. The creative process is always about couple steps forward, 1 step back, couple steps forward, 1 step back. There's a constant process of tweaking, and even, dare I say, a little bit of struggling, not because you're supposed to be suffering with the struggling, but because we have to sometimes kind of fight to make sure that what we're working towards, what we're driven towards, is challenging, and that challenge is not, again, to cause us to be in pain, but to make sure that we're putting our effort and our energy in the right direction. In the middle of every creative cycle, we have the opportunity to make sure that whatever it is that we're creating in our reality is aligned with the truth of love, the love of the self, the love that we have for each other, our compassion, the physical love of the body, that being embodied, so that our direction is all about is actually being grounded and embodied in our physical form, and that we are taking direction from not only our love of self and our love for each other and what's necessarily good and vital for our physical form, but also from our direction. We take our direction from spirit. We are ultimately, by design, spiritual beings, and we are serving a bigger unfolding of the cosmic plan. Once we recalibrate, then we start that back and forth process again, in order for us to make sure that we are staying aligned with the original intent that we had at the beginning of the quarter, which is, of course, 4 quarters in a year. This is all making sure we're lining up with our intentions, our creative process for the year. And then life cycles and all that other stuff is rolled into it. It's normal, and it's actually vital for us to have a 2 steps forward, 1 step back process. But we have a Mercury retrograde cycle happening right now, and it is amplifying the 1 step back, 2 step forward process. And it's amplifying it because that's what happens in Mercury retrograde. We have the opportunity to go inward and to really make sure we are aligned, and we have tweaked, and we've adjusted, and we're vibrationally moving towards something that we can see as a possibility for ourselves. We are being tested about our belief systems and what we're willing to allow ourselves to receive, and we're being asked, is what you're creating really true to your authentic self? Because if it's not, it's going to be hard for you to push it into form, because things that aren't in alignment with who we really are hard to create. We're actually designed to create relatively easily when we're being true to who we are. And we're being given an opportunity right now with this retrograde cycle to really drop in and say, okay, is this what I want? Is this really who I am? Is this really in integrity, structurally, energetically, with the story of who I am and what I really want to be creating from the heart of who I am right now? So that's part of what's going on. But the second thing that's going on is this cycle started on an initiating energy, which sets this cycle up to be a little cuckoo, okay? It sets us up to be wanting to go forward. We're in Aries season. It's all about momentum. It's the beginning of the astrological year. We're jumping out, right? And this is sort of the energy we started Mercury retrograde on. So we're sort of like, yeah, oh wait. And it feels paralyzing and confusing, and everything feels like it's kind of up for redefinition and up for grabs. We're being awakened, we're being shocked, we're being surprised, we're getting the unexpected experience because we're being tested, and all of this energy that's coming at us, all this intensity is designed for us to make sure that whatever it is that we're creating, this inner cycle that we're in of dropping in and asking ourselves, am I in alignment with the truth of who I am? Am I serving my place in the cosmic plan? Am I really being who I am? All of those questions and all of those incidences and events and unexpected conversations and revelations and truth that's coming out are designed to wake us back up to the truth of who we are, wake us back up to the nature of what the role we're here to play in the cosmic unfolding of the plan, right? And it's about helping us get clear about what's real and what's not, what's true and what's not. And in that process of getting clear, supporting us ultimately in making decisions. And this is what's coming up for us this week. We are being inspired by the previous week's events to begin to make decisions that will further our prosperity. But even this week, starting on Wednesday, the sun moves into the 42, Earth is in the 32, which is duration. So we have decision making and duration. So we have this, again, even in this mix of energy in the sun and the earth, this sort of momentum and weight thing happening. So we are moving into a cycle this week where you are going to, based on all the things that have been revealed to you, based on the places where you have become awakened in the last couple of weeks, you are going to start making decisions, choices. And a lot of those choices might be choices that are about bringing things to completion, closing doors, making endings where the endings need to happen, causing yourself to make choices around what you want versus what you don't want. The ending sometimes is really the beginning. Okay, so we are actually moving into an energy that is about beginnings, but we can't get to the beginnings until we finish the ending. Because if you're not, you're still dragging all this stuff forward, and then the next Mercury retrograde cycle, you're gonna have to deal with it again, okay? So think about this week, and when you look at what's going on in your reality, what's going on in your life, what's going on right now, what decisions do you need to make? What endings perhaps do you need to create so that whatever momentum you are going to rebuild once this energy shifts out next week or the week after, because it might take a little bit for everything to catch up, what decisions do you need to make to support yourself in furthering your prosperity? And then, and this is part of it, what do you need to do to sustain your commitment to that decision? How do you need to endure? Okay? How do you need to, and what do you need to do to sustain your energy while you're waiting for the correct timing, for all the pieces necessary in the puzzle of your creation to come together, all the circumstances, all the synchronicity, all the serendipity, all the magic? What do you need to do while you're waiting to stay in that space of active, deliberate, foundation laying endurance? Because that's really what it's about. It's about crafting a vision, and then ultimately not just crafting that vision and making sure all the circumstances support that vision, but also looking at how this is a Mr. Rogers song. You guys remember, some of you made me remember this song. That little song they used to sing about, let's think of something to do while we're waiting. That's what you're learning how to do starting next week. You're going to learn what you need to do while you're waiting. How do you calibrate yourself? How do you keep yourself inspired? How do you keep tending to the foundation until everything starts to pop? When the plate is clear, when everything that's distracting is out of the way, and your focus is clean and crisp, and you're clear about where you're headed, then it becomes easier for you to have the endurance to sustain the vision, the endurance to sustainably do the work necessary to create the circumstances through which the creation can happen. And that's not about the doing piece, by the way. This isn't about striving, okay? This is about holding the frequency, laying the foundation, doing the things that you don't need other people to facilitate for you, and taking care of yourself while you're waiting, so that when the timing is correct, when all those circumstances begin to pop, you'll be ready. Your energy will be high. You will have paced yourself so that you'll have the necessary energy and tools and skills and all the information and knowledge and experience that you need to up-level whatever it is you're creating. Okay? So mantras for this week. No striving. Okay? Look at where you need to make decisions, and especially decisions perhaps about bringing things to completion. What do you need to do to sustain your energy so that you can endure your creative process and stay true to your vision for the duration until the timing is right? Every ending is a beginning. This is the beginning of the endings that bring you the new beginning. So don't resist. Allow things to fall apart if they need to, and it's okay. And last but not least, don't be impatient. Don't be impatient with others, because everybody's going through this together. And don't be impatient with timing, because there is divine timing, and as long as you're lined up, the timing is perfect. And don't be impatient with yourself. If you feel like you're having to constantly recalibrate, or if you feel like, you're having a hard time letting go, if the allowing part isn't coming so naturally to you, and you don't know who you are perhaps without some of the stories that you might be using to keep yourself back from fully being the expression of who you are. Be gentle with yourself. Be patient. And trust the universe. There is a beautiful unfolding happening here. We're in an incubative cycle. We're like, gushy, transforming caterpillars. It's going to get better, I promise. Just hang in there. Take care of yourselves. Take salt baths. Do your best to get as good sleep as possible. Use lavender on your feed. Do what you need to do to stay clear. Don't watch too much TV. Don't watch too much computer. Go outside, hug a tree. Spring will return. So will summer. Everything will unfold, and these last couple of weeks will become just a distant memory. So take care of yourselves. Have a great week.